Alright everyone, welcome back as always, and it's time to go balls deep. And man oh man, that Black Clover chapter created so many questions that I cannot even answer, questions that make my mind go on overdrive, questions that make us go
where? Who? You been where? Where who?
Before I provide my analysis, this video is brought to you by NordVPN. So if you go on dodgy websites, you go on public Wi-Fi like in the library or cafe, and you want to protect your privacy, you don't want to get hacked, you don't want people knowing what you're going on your browsing history, and an extra layer of protection, go check it out for 75% off, and you get 1 month extra for free if you use the code AnimeBallsDeep. And also, if you do not like the service, there is a full refund, so there's a money back guarantee. Don't be afraid to sign up and try it out. Now let's get started. Now, I don't know what my friend Tomato is up to lately because he's not answering my phone calls, but Black Clover Chapter 205 explained the backstory about the demon god, Lumiere, and the Master Demon. However, now we need answers on the events that we know from the past, otherwise there might be some plot convenience or plot hole that has occurred. For example, one massive question that I am asking myself, since we saw the Master Demon cast the reincarnation magic at the end of the chapter due to Nero using her sealing magic to put him away forever, how the hell did the devil know that Patri would reincarnate into someone that looks exactly like Licht, the original leader of the elf tribe? Also, how did he know for a fact that Patri would receive a 4-leaf light grimoire? The devil said to Patri when he revealed his betrayal that he planned everything. He knew that Patri would hate humans and cause a war. This part makes logical sense at the moment because Patri died before he saw the first Wizard King come and prove he didn't do anything. Humans are not to blame. However, since we know from Black Clover Chapter 205 that the demon used a spell called Nod Nepesh, which the devil said himself it will reincarnate everyone and himself inside an elf soul. So how did the devil plan for Patri to get Licht's body exactly to look exactly like him? We can make sense of how the devil made sure Patri got the 4-leaf grimoire. This is because the demon says himself that I'll bide my time in my soul of the 4th leaf and sow the seeds of sorrow and despair. So this must mean that 500 years in the future, which is the present and we are reading, the devil must have casted some sort of word magic in his reincarnation to make sure Patri looks like Licht. This will fix the plot convenience, and I'm pretty sure it will be explained in the Master Devil's flashback, which he will have when he explains himself to everyone in the first Wizard King. The only thing that confuses me till this day, what did the demon do to the grimoire? Did he bound his soul to it? And if that's the case, why is the demon in Asta's grimoire different from the one being fought right now? What grimoire does he mean? There must be a reason why the Master Devil that we are currently fighting, why did he make this new grimoire with Patri instead of going to claim Asta or Licht's grimoire? Like, is my other devil theory coming true? The one I explained 5 videos ago? I explained how despair and demons can be born from the fallen angel concept, because Licht fell into despair and was changing into a dark elf, which would then allow the Master Demon to take over his body completely and incarnate himself. However, Licht, as I predicted, saw Lumiere and regained his heart. This stopped his transformation, but he could not stop his despair or the devil. Does this mean that half of Licht's soul became the demon inside Asta's grimoire which spawned it? Did Licht do this to protect the grimoire from the original demon from taking it over 500 years in the future? I mean, how can we explain why the Master Demon didn't just take the original 5-leaf grimoire that he created with Licht? I know it stated that Nero was protecting it, but what could she have done as a bird? We are told in the chapter that Nero, as the anti-magic bird for 500 years, was looking after the grimoire and protecting it. Does this mean that Nero hid the grimoire so the devil couldn't find it? So how come Nero does not know about the new demon being inside that grimoire? How did the demon with Asta even get into that grimoire in the first place if it isn't Licht's soul? So in the present, we see that Licht isn't acting like himself and his reincarnation is not complete. It's like his soul is missing. The Witch Queen stated that when Licht casted the forbidden spell of summoning the demon god, it came with a heavy sacrifice. Is that sacrifice to become a demon himself? Now obviously this isn't in line with Licht's character, but this could have been the heavy price that he had to pay to make sure that the future is saved. but because the demon inside Asta's grimoire seems evil and he wants to take over his body. However, he also says at the same time that he is the closest person to Asta, but he doesn't know it yet. Maybe this is why the devil somewhat helps Asta and is protecting him, and he does not want Asta to die, because if Asta dies, he dies himself. This will also explain why Licht in his original form didn't just straight up kill Yuno and Asta in their fight 50 chapters ago. Licht can sense that Yuno is 100% confirmed to have the soul of his unborn child, and Asta in his grimoire has the demon that he spawned that has anti-magic properties. I mean, it's pretty clear that when you cast forbidden spells, the drawback of it is that you get shunned by mana and you change into something else. This is because the Master Demon says this himself, as well as Lumiere, the first Wizard King. When Sekiri casted the sealing magic Eternal Prison with the magic stones, since she is not elf who is loved by mana, she gained the attributes of the person she is casting the magic on. Since she casted a sealing spell on a demon, she became part demon herself by gaining horns on her body. Furthermore, once she casts her sealing magic again to the first Wizard King to save the future, the first Wizard King says that this technique will cause her not to be human anymore. So maybe Licht being an elf that used his despair to summon the demon god. It could be possible, meaning that half his soul became the demon inside of a dark elf, which transformed into a demon, and now Asta is using its powers. When Sekiri uses her sealing spell on Lumiere, she then turns into a bird we know as Nero, but she does not know herself why she took on the form of a bird. But I think it's pretty clear that once you use forbidden magic and the stones, the price of doing that is to never use magic again. This is why if the demon with Asta is Licht, he became an anti-magic demon, something that is the complete opposite and not loved by mana. That is why the grimoire chose Asta, because Asta was born with no mana. It was the only way the demon that spawned in the grimoire could have someone to use his powers and have the chance of taking over his body. Licht became part evil in his soul. Think about it, guys. I want you to dwell on this theory and let me know what you think in the comment section. Like, imagine all the anti-magic birds are people that use the magic stones incorrectly, and then this is their punishment. Nero looked unique to the other magic birds because she absorbed some devil attributes before it happened. When we look at things holistically, the Master Demon says he seems to know that there is a demon inside of Asta's grimoire. In chapter 198, he says, "I don't know where you came from, devil, but you may have that grimoire." He also calls him a comrade at the same time. This is because all demons in their race have a similar goal and pattern, which makes logical sense to me. So if the Master Demon does not know where this demon came from, and Nero does not know where the demon came from, but she was protecting it for 500 years, how did the demon enter the grimoire? It must definitely 100% mean something must have happened during the events of the massacre, which points to me saying that half of Licht's soul has become the anti-magic demon and he chose Asta himself. Licht must have had to pay this price to save the future or something, because why does the 5-leaf grimoire still have Licht's original Demon Slayer sword inside of it with anti-magic properties now? This is because it's still Licht's grimoire with his swords and magic, but he became a demon that changed its properties. When we saw the Master Devil take Patri's grimoire, for example, the magic changes to his demon properties. But no, Licht's grimoire still has the properties and attributes of sword magic, but it chose Asta because he has no mana. I mean, think about it logically. Let's say Licht didn't split his soul and make this whole plan, but we did see Licht spawn the demon god and he became it, right? He then died to his best friend. Licht was a demon and then the devil did reincarnation magic. So wouldn't part of Licht come back as a demon again since he was one? He got reincarnated into the book as a demon, the anti-magic demon, and then 500 years later, just like the devil, he chose Asta. Think about it more deeply and logically. We were told when the owner of a grimoire dies, the book disappears and does not exist anymore. We saw this with Julius against Patri. Now we just saw Licht die, the first Wizard King died too, the Master Demon died, and then Nero became a bird. So no one technically owns the bird, and Nero was protecting it, but why isn't the grimoire disappearing? Why does it still exist? This is because half of Licht's soul became the anti-magic demon within the grimoire that no one knew about, and he still technically owns the book. Now we see in this chapter towards the end that my theory is coming true, because Asta is the literal answer to the Master Devil. He is the person with the correct ideology and powers similar to Lumiere and Licht. Asta will help everyone defeat the master demon. Asta has anti-magic powers that even in this chapter, the devil says is becoming very dangerous for him and a nuisance. Asta can also withstand devil magic for some reason and it does not hurt him. He has the powers to defeat the devil 500 years later. Now I know I went a bit balls deep here with this theory and analysis, but if you're still confused about this plot twist and what is exactly going on, I do recommend you watching my last chapter analysis, which I will link because I break everything down for you kind of well. But going back to the chapter, we see all this beautiful art. I mean, Tabata is killing it with these gems. He has improved so much, bangers on top of bangers on top of more bangers and bangers and bangers and bangers. But we see in this chapter the devil seems to be afraid of the first wizard king's light magic. The first wizard king, he must have been the most powerful being or human in existence, because the devil said even if he took over Licht's body, he would still struggle against him and probably lose. You know, that's absolutely insane. But Tabata, he's fixed the power scaling because Lumiere Resurrected said he is nowhere near his perfect state or original power. Whilst the devil was not a perfect state in the past, the roles have now reversed, because now 500 years later the devil has his original form and a 5-leaf black clover. So now this is why Asta, Yuno and everyone else has to help them defeat the devil and seal him way back to their dimension. There's a lot more things to mention, but I will save it for next week's chapter analysis on a few topics. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Follow me on Twitter or Instagram and I'll see you guys next time.